everyone. I am so excited. I feel like I start every episode or recipe videos with that. I'm so excited, but I am very excited about this. I am starting a little series called Jazz Cans. You know, like jazz hands, but it's jazz cans. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm literally going to show you how to transform, revolutionize canned goods from your pantry. People are going to be like, wow, what's that recipe? This is so yummy. What is it? How'd you do it? I'm gonna show you how to do it. The first installment in our Jazz Cans series is baked beans. This is a recipe that is near and dear to my heart because my family raves about my baked beans. Jacqui, what? These beans are so great. These beans are so great. Yeah, I know they're great. And I'm gonna share my secret with you because I think it's really important that we save some time and we put our canned goods to use. So you only need a handful of ingredients to make these baked beans so yummy. So I've got my can of baked beans. I've got a green bell pepper chopped up. I've got 2 cloves, actually I think 3 cloves of garlic. You can do 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic chopped. I've got some bacon that I'm gonna sizzle on the stove, and my secret ingredient, my favorite kind of barbecue sauce. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you fancy. I just like the sweet and spicy flavor of this one, and that's it. So let's get into it. Before we get started crisping up our bacon on the stove, I want to give you a very important tip, and this is how all of our canned good recipes start, is we're gonna bust open this can and we're gonna pop them into a strainer, and we're just gonna let them drain all of the can liquid out in the sink. All right, now over the sink, here I go. I've got my strainer here and I'm just gonna drain the beans in the strainer. So we don't need any of this canning liquid. So we're gonna let these beans hang out here for a few minutes while the bacon crisps up. We're just gonna get rid of, you see it oozing out the side there. We're just gonna get rid of all of that canning liquid. Again, that's gonna really help these beans taste like they never even came from a can. When I do my baked beans, I like to get the vegetarian kind because I don't like the little soggy little bacon bit that comes in the ones that are not vegetarian. So that's just like a tip I like to do when I do this recipe. If you're making 1 can of baked beans, you can probably get away with doing half a packet of bacon, but who are we kidding? The more bacon, the better. Just as a good rule of thumb, I use an entire package of bacon. And typically when I make this recipe for family gatherings or parties, I double this recipe. So I have a nice big pot of baked beans. Whenever I'm crisping up bacon and I want bacon, little bite-sized pieces of bacon, the easiest way to do that is with some kitchen sears. So I've got my bacon here and I'm literally just going to cut the bacon into the pot here, and I've got it on medium heat. And what you're gonna end up with are just like perfectly sized bacon bites, and it's gonna brown up nice and quick. And it's just easier than putting this on a cutting board and using a knife to cut it. You can use any kind of bacon for this recipe. I'm using Applewood smoked bacon. You can use whatever kind of bacon you fancy. And I'm also gonna be cooking the rest of the beans in this pot. So you wanna make sure whatever pot you're browning the bacon in, that's the pot you're gonna cook the rest of your beans into. That way all the bacon flavor just kind of marinates the beans. All right, so with slotted spoon here, give this a stir. Just gonna use my wooden spoon to break up these little bacon bits. And it's gonna take about, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 10 minutes for these to fully crisp up. Our bacon is nice and crispy. So I'm gonna remove it from our pan and I'm going to put it on a plate here lined with a paper towel, just so it can drain off the excess oil. So at this point, there's a lot of bacon grease here, so I'm going to drain some of that out, but I'm not gonna drain all of it. I'm probably gonna leave about 1 to 2 tablespoons of bacon grease left at the bottom of the pan. And then you can see here, we have about a couple tablespoons of bacon grease left at the bottom of the pan. And if you see all of these brown bits, that is flavor, baby. And that's why it's very important to cook your bacon in the same pot that you're going to cook your beans in. All right, so look at these yummy bacon bits. So I'm gonna turn this back on, medium-low heat. The bacon grease is already nice and warm. I'm gonna toss in our green bell pepper. Okay. I'm also gonna toss in our fresh garlic. So I've got 1 green bell pepper in here, and I've got 3 cloves of garlic chopped up. If you're not too into garlic, you can definitely just get away with doing 1 or 2 cloves, but I love garlic. I'm gonna add a hearty pinch of salt. I'm gonna give this a couple cranks of black pepper. All right, so we're gonna saute this in the bacon grease, and we're kind of gonna work our spoon at the bottom of the pan here, just to kind of break up some of those brown bits and get them all over the peppers and the garlic. Oh, it smells so good. Just doing these little things here, sauteing a bell pepper and some garlic, really elevates the baked beans. And this is really what is gonna make it taste like you have had these baked beans simmering away all day long. So I'm gonna let the bell pepper soften up just a little bit. I will say, this is a personal preference, I do like a little bite to the green bell pepper, but if you like them really soft, you can continue to cook them down until they are like super duper soft. So here are our baked beans that we drained earlier. You can see that all the canning liquid has fully drained away, which is perfect because now they're definitely not gonna taste like they came from a can. I'm gonna dump them all in here. Give this a nice stir. Oh yeah. Once you make these baked beans, you're never going to eat baked beans from a can, straight from a can, ever again. These are so easy. And you know, we have baked beans when we're camping a lot of the time. This is easy to do at camping too. If you have a camp stove, you brown up your bacon, you bring a bell pepper and garlic, and you can jazz up baked beans really simply at a campsite. I like to do this, like I said, for family barbecues. And it's a simple way to elevate canned beans. It is awesome. All right, so at this point, our beans are on low heat, and I'm gonna add about a cup, maybe some more. If I doubled this recipe, if I had 2 cans of beans in here, I would use the entire bottle, but you're gonna add your favorite barbecue sauce. I like this brand, and I also like the sweet and spicy because it gives a nice little bite to it. So yeah, I'm gonna just squeeze it on in. There we go. It's about a cup, I would say, 1.25 cups. You just wanna stir it around, and this is just gonna make the beans flavor just really take it to the next level. It's gonna add a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of spice, and it looks so delicious. And at this point, they are ready to eat, but we wanna add back in our crispy bacon. Oh yeah, baby. We've got crispy bacon, and that, of course, is gonna make your beans, this is what drives people crazy. And they're gonna ask you, how did you make these? How did you make these? And I mean, it could be our little secret. You don't have to tell them. You can say, I made them from scratch. I just tossed it together, but it'll be our little secret that you got the recipe from me. I'm gonna grab a bowl and I'm gonna devour it because these are one of my favorite things to eat. Look at this, so stinking good. All right, I'm gonna sneak a little bowl here. You can make these ahead of time and keep them in a crock pot, if you will, at a family barbecue or a potluck. And if you have any leftovers, these taste amazing the next day warmed up. So stinking yummy. I'm gonna give these a little taste test. I wanna get a bite of everything, the bell pepper, the bacon, the beans. Oh my God, it's like a party in my mouth. It is so delicious. In our Jazz Cans series, I'm going to teach you how to revolutionize your canned black beans, garbanzo beans, canned corn, a whole bunch of other canned goods. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our upcoming videos, because you're gonna want to watch every episode of Jazz Cans. All right, that's enough for that. I'll see you in the next video.